all in your seats. Wonderful. So good morning and Happy New Year. I'm Reverend Kate, and it's my pleasure to welcome everyone to the Sunday morning at the Center for Spiritual Living Carlsbad. Whether you're here in this room or whether you're watching online, we're really glad you've joined us to celebrate the truth that there is a power for good in the universe, greater than we are, and that we can use it. In fact, last week, if you were with us, you know that when we were talking about the new year, one of the things that Dr. Carroll invited us to do, looking forward, was to name your year. So one way to make sure that you really do have a happy new year is to set an intention. So, you know, it could be like her blog title, The Year of Living Consciously. I named my year the Year of Feeling Fabulous. And I want everyone, you know, this morning or sometime to just think about it like it was a movie you were going to go see. What would be a great title for your year? Because that's what we're all about. We're about learning to use and to understand this thing called life. And in fact, that's what we're going to be working on during the month of January. This morning, Dr. Carroll is going to talk about the beginning, the introduction, the first part of the introduction to our textbook called The Science of Mind, written by ErnestHolmes. And the first part is called The Thing Itself. Then next week I'll be talking about how it works. Then she'll talk about what it does. And finally, I'll talk about how to use it. It's a little bit of going back to the basics, to the very fundamentals of our teaching. So I'm so glad that you're able to join us this morning as we all start reminding ourselves of the true power of the creative intelligence of the universe. So keeping this in mind, I'd just like to invite you to relax for a moment while I give a spiritual mind treatment. So if you want, you can close your eyes, but you don't need to, because it's just taking thought. And so, understanding this, I now remind myself, speaking as I, the name we all get to call ourselves, I know and I realize that this is a spiritual universe, that everything is made of spirit becoming through itself, expanding, and that there is nothing but spirit. Everything is made from the substance of spirit, including us. Since this is true, I understand that our thoughts are powerful. And so, in full faith and believing, I speak my word. Understanding and knowing the truth that each person here today and each person who listens to this service in the future is a beautiful individualization of spirit, a person, a spiritual being having a human experience, and that each of us is that choice. And right here, right now, each of us gets to choose a new thought, a new way of expression, a new experience that we would love to see unfolding And I know this is so, and so on behalf of each person listening, I claim wonderful health, wonderful prosperity, wonderful relationships, and wonderful creativity for each and every one of us. And I understand that it is already true in spirit. And so I accept it on behalf of us all. I accept it. I understand it's already done in the mind of the universe. And so I let go. I give thanks. And I invite you to embody this along with me by saying together with me, and so it is. Thank you, everyone. And now, if you, hopefully everyone has our song, and I am going to turn it over to this morning's musician, Jennifer.
Love makes the world go round. Love makes the world go round. Somebody soon will love you if no one loves you now. High in some silent sky, love sings a silver song, making the earth whirl softly. Love makes the world go round. One more time. Love makes the world go round. Love makes the world go round. Somebody soon will love you if no one loves you now. High in some silent sky, love sings a silver song, making the earth whirl softly. Love makes the world go round.
Beautiful. And now if you will look in your program and find the group reading inside your program. Let's read it aloud together. There is one life, both visible and invisible, one presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect love and perfect intelligence. I am an individualized expression of all that it is. I am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect intelligence. And now I would like to invite Larry to help with our candle lighting. So we just want to light a few candles in celebration and recognition of some of the amazing aspects of this thing called life. So first, we light a candle for life itself. That life which lives in and through each of us and everything. There is only one life. That life is Spirit's life, and that life is our life now. So please affirm with me, I am life. And we light a candle for love, the unifying, harmonizing force of the universe. We each are points of love within the heart of Spirit. So please affirm with me, I am love. We light a candle for light. We each radiate the light, the intelligence of Spirit wherever we are. So please affirm with me, I am light. And we light a candle for beauty. We're made in the likeness and image of Spirit. We each express the beauty of Spirit's perfection as our perfection now. So please affirm with me, I am beauty. We light a candle for joy. Joy is the very nature of Spirit and the true essence of each of us. We each bring joy to the world. So please affirm with me, I am joy. And we light a candle for peace. Today and every day, we open our hearts to peace, maybe especially today. we open our hearts to peace. We each are a center of peace in our world. So please affirm with me, I am peace. And finally, I'd like to invite you to take a moment to become aware of your own inner light. Your own inner light that is always shining within as we each honor our personal metaphysical path of wholeness, oneness, and mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles, which are ours to rely upon always. Thank you, Larry. And now it's time for me to turn it over to Jennifer for a song, and then get ready to welcome Dr. Carol. Thank you. Take it away.
Thank you. If you believe within your heart, you'll know that no one can change the path that you must go. Believe what you feel and know you're right, because the time will come around when you know it's yours. Believe there's a reason to be. Believe you can make time stand still. And know from the moment you try, if you believe, I know you will. Believe in yourself right from the start. You'll have brains and you'll have a heart. You'll have the courage to live your whole life through. If you believe in yourself, if you believe in yourself, if you believe in yourself as God believes in you, believe that you can go home. Believe you can float on air. Then click your heels 3 times. If you believe, you'll be there. Believe in yourself right from the start. Believe in the magic right there in your heart. Believe all these things, not because I told you to, but believe in yourself. Just believe in yourself. Just believe in yourself as God believes in you. Thank you.
The basics of this teaching is the most advanced study of consciousness on the planet today. We're still on the leading edge. We're on the cutting edge, and we have been for decades. And science is catching up with us. ErnestHolmes, the founder of his teaching, said the day is coming when science and spirituality will walk hand in hand. It's starting to happen, and it's a beautiful thing. So I'm going to begin today talking about, this is so presumptuous, God, the great mystery, the thing itself, as ErnestHolmes referred to it. I'm going to start with a couple of quotes that I've used here before, but they're very apt. They need to be repeated from time to time. And this is an anonymous quote. The God you believe in is your vote for the kind of world you want to live in. Boy, do you see that happening all over the planet, right? That's what we're seeing, is people defending their belief in their God. David Stendhal Ross, Christian monk, said, "The experience of the monk of God is not the same as the church's theological construct." He said, "We know God as the more, but not the separate." That is a very good description of New Thought's take on this subject, that the more is not the separate, but rather is right where we are all the time. ErnestHolmes said, "Think of it as the thing itself." When I first heard that in 1975, I love that because it was so non-religious sounding, the thing itself. But now I sort of feel that it's a little bit confusing because thing means something that you can see and touch. And if anything, Spirit, God, is ineffable. It's hard to talk about it because it is such a great mystery. Something that is, as Holmes noted, and this is another one that I fell in love with and had to think about for years. That's why I took so many classes and wound up here. He said, God is formless, changeless, birthless, and deathless. But it takes form. It moves through the dimension of change. It gives birth to form and passes out of form. And yet it never is changed itself. That's something really profound to think about. But God is not an abstraction. It's a real power. It is a presence that is ever becoming. And what we believe God to be is not as important, though, I think, as what we think our relationship to it is. And that's where this teaching really has a wonderful take on that, because it basically says God is being you. ErnestHolmes said, God makes everything out of itself by becoming the thing it makes. Think about that. It makes everything out of itself, what it is: love, joy, peace, power, intelligence, creativity, supply. It makes everything out of itself by becoming the thing it makes, empowering the thing it makes with everything it has. I got up this morning at 5 o'clock because it was so bright outside, and I looked outside and saw the most incredible moon. Huge moon. I guess it was a supermoon, surrounded by kind of an orange aura. And then there was the trees and these big white billowing clouds. And I sat down and just looked at it, and I said, anyone who thinks this is a random act of some kind is nuts. Anyone who can't see that this is the expression of something incredibly intelligent. And ErnestHolmes said that. He said, the universe and everything in it is the visible evidence of an incredible intelligence at work. And that incredible intelligence becomes the thing it makes. And so we see ourselves as of it. And I know that that's a hard one because we're very human. We have personalities, we have egos, we have likes and dislikes and all that stuff. And yet, when we pause and if we have a spiritual practice, we have moments of realizing we are one with it, whatever it is. We cannot be separate from the source of our very life. In the Eastern mystical traditions, such as Buddhism, Hinduism, Taoism, and some others, they do not have an image of God at all in their teachings. Only the the Abrahamic lineage, that's Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. But Judaism itself forbids a concrete physical image of God, emphasizing God as transcendence. Now, in our teaching, it may be referred to as spirit, the absolute, universal mind, the one that has no opposition. It's not in conflict with any other power because it's the only power there is. And this is hard for people raised in traditional religions. How many of you were raised in something very traditional? Yeah, and there's a bit of unlearning perhaps, not to disrespect what was, but to understand there's more to know. There's an evolution of thought around these things, and this teaching is the evolution of Christianity, I believe. So what happened with more traditional religions is they had an allegorical description of the source that people could relate to. They took it literally, unfortunately, and actually thought that God was a man in the sky and referred to that being as he, and that he was watching over us, but not watching only over us, but judging us and making decisions about what we were doing right or wrong, and doling out punishments or rewards. ErnestHolmes said there's no such thing as a punishing God, but there are consequences to our choices. And that's where the law of God comes in. So a universe really couldn't function if there was one being somewhere looking down on every, I mean, that's just like Santa Claus delivering presents to every child, right? It's similar. But there is a presence. I was telling Reverend Kate recently that I felt this presence when I was a little girl. And I came from an atheist family. I mean, I had no religious training, but I felt it. I was probably the only one in my family that did. But I can remember walking around the yard when I was 2 or 3, just feeling it. And knowing there was something. I didn't have a name for it, but I could feel that there was the more, right? So that's the presence, and we feel it as our own aliveness. When you say I am, you're announcing its presence. An individualization of the great Om, the great I am. That's who we are. And we feel it in silence. We were talking this morning before meditation about how resistant people are to silence. And that's just because we've been trained to think, and do, and never sit still. But silence is golden. And silence is when you feel it. It can also just be stillness. You know, if you're out in the garden digging in the dirt and there's nobody talking to you and you're just there and you hear the birds and you feel the soil, that's when presence comes. You know you're part of something incredible and something beautiful and something that produces beauty and all of life. That's the presence. Now, when it acts by means of us, according to the word it is given, it becomes law. And that's called principle. And Reverend Kate's going to talk about that next week. I'll just touch on it. God is both presence and principle. It is the I am, and it is what it does by means of its creation, by means of the individualization that gives it something to do. So its presence as all sentient life, and its principle as the servant of sentient life. It is our servant. It is present, and as law gives us individuality. It gives us the ability to create a life that's ours through our choices, our decisions, our expression. That's the great gift. So it's another way, here's a quote from ErnestHolmes, of knowing life is for us and never against us. That's something to remember. You know, when you're up against it and things going kind of hard for you, just stop and say, life is for me and never against me. The universe is not divided against itself. The universe is life becoming, creating, making more of itself. And it's wanting to do it through me. What shall I give it to do? Hello. What shall I give it to do? And then we name it. And we begin to express it because life comes through us, not to us. So what we express, we get more of. So we come to know that our perception of anything is key to our experience, but none more so than our perception of God or Source. This is really important, that we think of Source as being present right where we are. So I wanted you, anybody remember Edgar Mitchell, the astronaut? Edgar Mitchell walked on the moon. When I was looking at that moon today, because I knew Edgar, and I thought, I knew someone who walked on that. He spent 33 hours on the surface of that moon. And he was the pilot of Apollo 14. When he was coming back from the moon, looking at the Earth out the window, he had a samadhi experience. He had an experience of oneness. And he saw our planet as a whole, and he said that, this is a direct quote, he said, "You develop an instant global consciousness, a people orientation, an intense dissatisfaction with the state of the world, and a compulsion to do something about it. From out there on the moon, international politics looks so petty. You want to grab a politician by the scruff of the neck and drag him 250,000 miles out there and say, 'Look at that, you SOB.' And I knew him a little because I booked him to speak in my church in Sarasota and also at a ministers' conference that I was in charge of. And I mention him because this was a man who had an experience that led him to see how science and spirituality can walk hand in hand and how they belong together. And so he went on to found the Institute of Noetic Sciences up in San Rafael, and it was for the purpose of studying consciousness, the mind, and the psychic realm, and it's still going in business today. When I was in the Association for Global New Thought on the Leadership Council, we did a conference in Palm Springs with the Institute of Noetic Sciences, who considered themselves very apart from anything religious. But the funniest thing happened. There was 2,000 people in the audience. And when they spoke, they sounded like us. And when we spoke, we sounded like them. We were presenting the science part in a way, and they were talking about oneness. It was really fascinating. And then at the end of it, they went, "Oh, we are more alike than we realized," because they were very wary of us in the beginning. It was a wonderful experience. So science and religion, this is something that Edgar Mitchell said. Science and religion have lived on opposite sides of the street now for hundreds of years. So here we are in the 21st century, trying to put two faces of reality, the existence face and the intelligence or consciousness face, into the same understanding of body and mind. Physicality and consciousness belong to the same side of reality. There's no separation between consciousness and the physical universe. It's all one expression of one intelligence, one source, one power, and as Reverend Cage said, it's ours to use. How do we use it? We'll talk about that in the weeks coming. Buddha, Jesus, Muhammad, and many others had an experience like Mitchell. And that led them to the personal study of the mind and the inner realms of being. None of them formed a religion, including Mr. Jesus. None of them wanted a religion. They simply wanted people to have the experience. You know, it's one of those things. If Buddha sat under a Bodhi tree, then everybody wants to sit under a Bodhi tree. If they shave their heads and people shave their heads, if they have long hair, they grow their hair out, and if they wear orange robes, everybody starts wearing orange robes. You can't get the experience from the effect. It only comes from the inner silence, peace, asking for it, asking for God to come to you. You know what Emerson said? God comes to us without bell. And that means in silence, in stillness. It doesn't come through the noise of the world. It comes from within. And so we have to open the space for it so that it can arise in our awareness, and we just feel it. We just maybe even have no words for it, but we feel it. So religions formed around those people, and millions of people missed the point that the teachings were about them. So they started worshiping the teachers and missed the beauty of the teaching itself. ErnestHolmes studied everything: science, philosophy, psychology, all the religions of the world. He read the Bible many times. And he created his Institute of Metaphysical Studies on 6th and Wilshire in Los Angeles. He did not want a church. He fought against it. But he was outvoted, and so here we are trying to overcome the stigma of church. We are a study of metaphysical truth. We are a study of consciousness. We are a teaching, not a preaching. So one of the evolutionary points in our teaching right now is the beginning of the emphasis on the feminine aspect of spirit. Too long it's been thought of as male, masculine, and devoid of femininity. And as a consequence, we all know the feminine has been dismissed, ridiculed, undervalued, and left out of everything. David Stendhal-Rast at a conference we had in Italy said, you know, when we made God into a man, we left out the most important part of our being, which is the feminine. And we set up everything in the world according to male power at the top. Medicine, education, corporations, governments, families. Father knows best. And we missed, and the world right now is devoid of the feminine, and that's the problem. And she's starting to rise. And you know what happens when the feminine rises? It might cause a little chaos for a while, right? That's another talk. I just can't help it. It's my favorite subject right now. Okay, so we had a male God for so long, it has shaped everything in our life, caused an imbalance that extends to how we treat the planet. She's been raped. And one of the versions of Genesis says, let us make them in our image and likeness. Male and female, masculine and feminine. So, in one being, equal in every way, and both necessary to the advancement of the species. So, one of the ways to think of God is love and intelligence in perfect right relationship, masculine and feminine in perfect right relationship, perfect balance in sync, creating everything out of that beautiful dual energy. We arise from that. You know, it's like spirit. If spirit is being us, then we didn't get created and be left here to figure it out, right? We're still being created. We're still arising from the source every day, every second, nanosecond by nanosecond. We're arising from the quantum field of being. We're arising from spirit every moment that we allow ourselves to realize it. So God is within, without, and all about. We are immersed in it, and it's embedded in us. So whatever you choose to do, it responds. Whatever we choose, however we choose to express ourselves, whatever it is that we ask of it, it responds with, yes, my beloved, I am well pleased. Can't beat that. And so it is.
I can see clearly now the rain is gone. Probably not. Gone are the dark clouds, obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. Oh, it's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. I think I can make it now. The pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is that rainbow I've been praying for. Oh, it's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, nothing but blue skies. Woo. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. Oh, it's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Oh, it's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Yes, it's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. That was really nice. And thank you, Dr. Carol. That was great. You know, there's the Science of Mind textbook is so great. Every time you read it, you get a little more. Every time you hear someone talk about it, you get a little more understanding. I know I've read the textbook from cover to cover a couple of times, and when I go through it, it's like, oh, I don't remember that from last time I read it. There's so much that you can get out of it, and it does depend on your point of view. Where are you that moment? Because we're the interpreter, we're the translator. So thank you so much for that inspirational talk. I feel much more connected to Source, don't you?
Yes, me too.
So this is our time. We call it the time of conscious giving. And if you look in your programs, I want to invite you to just think about, this year. We're always in a cycle of circulation. We give, we receive. This is one of the places where we both receive and give. In so many ways, I appreciate how people give of their time and their treasure and their talent. So let's just say it together, and then Jennifer will help us sing the next part. So, divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I am, and all that I give. I know this is so, and so it is.
I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed.
Thank you, everyone. So I just have a few announcements. See, we have announcements. We're so modern. Thank you, Daryl, for making those slides every week. I think it's great because it's like a science project. So I appreciate it. Okay, most important, of course, is, and we need to say it all the time to each other, thank you, everybody, for being a part of this, for volunteering. Okay, next, spiritual mind treatment request forms are available in the lobby. Or if you want, you can ask, maybe after we get our plates of food and get to eat a little bit, you can ask me, Dr. Carol, Dr. Maddie, and practitioner Larry. We're all here, and we love to do treatment. So you either fill out a form or see one of us, because treatment is what we love. And that is just a way of knowing the truth for someone. The other thing is, today is, Happy Birthday Sunday and potluck. So I'm going to ask Jennifer if she'll lead us in Happy Birthday. But first, let's see who has a birthday in January.
Yay!
Oh, we've got two. We've got Dr. Carol and Johnny. Great. So let's sing them happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Dr. Carol and John. Happy birthday to you and many more. But
Before you have cake, we're going to have a potluck lunch. So whether you brought anything or not, please stay and join us, because there's always enough for everyone. And, make a contribution today. Well, there's information in your program if you're interested in making a little New Year's contribution. The other thing that I just wanted to say, if it's your first time or if you never received one, make sure you pick up a welcome packet. And if you came maybe last month and we didn't have any welcome packets, we've got them today and they're available. So the other thing is that we do have our bookstore, and if you didn't get a chance to take a look at some of the books by our amazing in-house authors. We've got those today. And also we've got some books by ErnestHolmes out today. So, while you're waiting for food, please feel free to browse that. So now is, like I said, the very most important thing of all, saying thank you to our volunteers. So let's just admire and give thanks for these beautiful flowers from Ruth Ann. And I'd like to thank Larry and Daryl and Johnny and Morgs and Jessica and everyone else who pitched in this morning or is about to pitch in. Thank you for all your help. It's a beautiful team, and what I know is love really does make the world go round, so thank you all. And now, Dr. Carroll, do you want to give the closing treatment? Oh, you want me? Okay. Let me just give a closing treatment. Just remembering the truth that there is the thing itself in which we live and have our being as an avenue for life to flow through us in wonderful ways, in ways of our choosing. I just know that today each one of us becomes more and more aware of the good which belongs to us, that each one of us understands more and more clearly that as spiritual beings, we must begin to accept this good into our lives as our precursor to sharing it, that everything is constantly in circulation through us, for us, and with us. I give thanks for all the good now unfolding here in this center that we are able to understand, to enjoy, and to take with us throughout our week. There really is good for us all. There really is enough for us all. I know this to be the truth. I give thanks that it is the truth, and I invite you to accept it along with me by saying together, and so it is. Thank you. And now on the back of your programs, you'll find our closing song. If you want to stand up, we'll sing it together.
Open your heart, let your love go free, out over the ocean, right across the street. Let it flow like a river, let it fly like a dove, till your heart remembers you can't stop love. Once you got it started, watch what it does. It'll go full circle. You can't stop love.